My name is Garlin Gilchrist II, and I'm the Director of New Media at the Center for Community Change.
Okay, so to start with, just tell us a little bit about why you came out to Netroots Nation.
I've been wanting to come to Netroots Nation for at least 3 years since I first heard about it. I think it's really important to bring people that connect primarily online together in an offline setting. I think when we talk about new media, when we talk about organizing as a community, we need to think about how we can make all of our ties much deeper. Ties that are made online are made deeper offline. Ties that are made offline are deeper online if they can all be connected and tied together. So I really wanted to come to experience that, to see all these great, smart, fantastic people and organizations and just be a part of that.
Okay, and how does a conference like this, how does it affect the work that you're doing at your organization?
Well, it affects it probably in two ways. The first way is that it allows us to learn from this really vibrant and intelligent community, to really see all of the great work that's going on all these different issues in all these different states and cities, et cetera, and really be able to strengthen our work with all the best practices. And then most importantly, it allows us to build more new relationships, understanding that there are ways that we can work with people that we may not have thought of. There are people that we may not have met yet that we should meet and we should connect with, and being at a convention like this enables both of those activities.
Okay, great. And I know we said we were going to talk a little bit about storytelling, and specifically if you want to tell people a little bit about the work that you're doing.
Sure. Storytelling is really important. One of the things that the Center for Community Change has realized is that as our political debates get more and more about policy and less about people, that's where progressives tend to lose more and more. So we really want to get all of our issues back to thinking about the people that are impacted with them. As the healthcare debate started to become more and more about people towards the end, who knows what was going to happen when we did that? Well, you know what? We won. So we want to think about that then with all the rest of our issues. So the one that's really important for CCC right now is immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform. And we just started a project a couple of weeks ago called We Are America's Stories. That's weareamericastories.org. And we're really putting a human face back in the immigration debate. Instead of talking about immigrants in hateful, dehumanizing, and xenophobic ways, we're showing them that they're people, that they're families, that these people are important to their communities, important to this country, and we need to treat them fairly.
Okay, yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up healthcare, because actually me and Deanna Zant were just talking about that earlier, and we had felt that healthcare was what we covered more than anything else until its passage. And
Sure.
We had thought that storytelling was really the staple of that campaign. And
Absolutely.
It seems like you would agree based on what you said.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I think policy is obviously very important. We're all intelligent people. We all understand the policy nuances that matter to getting things done. But we also understand the people nuances. We understand that at the end of the day, legislating, fighting for policy is about making people's lives better, enabling people to live to their fullest potential. And the only way that you can really prioritize people properly is to listen to their stories and make sure their stories are what's informing your work.
Okay, great. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the panels you were on.
Sure.
You were here for 2 panels. You want to tell our viewers what that was?
That's right. So the first panel I participated in was about internet freedom, protecting rights in a digital era. It's really talking about this notion of open internet protections, of open networks, and of network neutrality. So I had...
Yeah,
Sure.
Can you explain
I'm
network neutrality?
I'm going there because it's a kind of nebulous term, but essentially what it means is making sure that the internet is treated the way it was intended to be treated by its creators. The internet is a place that is the ultimate manifestation of egalitarian democracy. All pieces of data that are legal are created equal and can be freely distributed and shared. There are corporate entities that want to take control over all of these different packets of data and say, we want to make the determination what you can share and what you can consume on our network. Well, the reality is the internet is a public resource. Nobody necessarily owns it. No corporation surely owns it. And so protecting internet freedom is about ensuring that the FCC and other government entities take the right steps to ensure that the internet does not fall to the same corporate interests that broke so many of our other systems, that's breaking our environment, that's breaking the Gulf, that broke the banking system, that broke the healthcare system. We need to have that not happen to the internet.
Yeah, no, I've heard some people even say that net neutrality is one of the new civil rights issues of our time.
Absolutely. It is a civil, human, and consumer right. When we think about this thing called the digital divide, which is the idea that there are certain sets of people, whether they are low-income people, communities of color, that do not have equal access to the internet or high-speed internet that certain other communities have, well, The digital divide cannot be bridged if corporations continue to make the decisions about who has access to the internet and about what they can do online. So this is a case where the government can take an active and important and positive role in protecting citizens and protecting consumers and protecting people's freedoms, which is one of the core functions of government.
Yeah, and this is clearly something you care a lot about. So what is it that this issue means to you personally?
It means to me, I see the internet as the most revolutionary advocacy tool ever created. Without the internet, you can't have something like a Netroots Nation. You can't have this idea of a blogger or an online activist that can write, type, and change the world all within the course of an hour. I mean, the internet changes life, changes the way we communicate, changes the way we connect with people, changes the way we build relationships. And I don't want to see anybody shut off from that. I especially don't want to see people that have been marginalized, that have been discriminated against in other forms of media, in broadcast media, on radio, on TV, and in print journalism. I don't want to see them have their stories told by someone else. The internet is a place where people can tell their own stories, can own their own images, and I want to see that protected.
That's great. Okay, so I guess my last question would be, a lot of our viewers happen to be grassroots activists.
Absolutely.
So I always ask people we're interviewing, what can folks watching at home do right now to get involved on this issue?
So on network neutrality?
On internet, net neutrality.
I suggest going to two websites. The first one is colorofchange.org, because we're doing some fantastic work on framing internet freedom as a civil rights issue. This is an issue of digital civil rights. The second thing to get more information on the issue is go to savetheinternet.com, which talks about a little bit more from a policy nuance perspective, but they're doing fantastic work in making sure that we actually understand what this issue is and all the implications for it and what you can do to advocate for the policy properly.
Okay, well, Garlin, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much.